Hello, and welcome to our Energy Connect studio at COP28. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Cord Landsmann, CEO of thyssenkrupp Uhde. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure, Julian, my pleasure.
Now, we're here in Dubai, Expo City, for COP28, which started yesterday. What's the importance of COP28 and what happened yesterday?
Yeah, I think COP28 is utmost important for us. We have, let's say, a big challenge ahead of us. Yeah, the climate change is working and it's going, and we have to fight against it. And I think it's very important to bring people together from all parts, lobbyists, the technical side, the financing side, the governments, everybody. And it's a huge adventure here. And I think I heard 70,000 people are here, which is quite nice. It's important. More important is to get some things done, yeah, to speed up, because time is running out. And I was in a couple of COPs already, and it's quite a marvelous adventure all the time. But it's important to also get results, making sure we get some traction and we fight climate change.
Absolutely, and this COP has been billed as a COP of action. We're only at the beginning of it, but as you said, hopefully we can see some actions or deliverables. And I know they announced something yesterday.
Yes, I heard already some announcement yesterday, and I heard and I know there are a couple of signatures to become, and we see some further MOUs, some further contracts, some further announcements. So I'm very hopeful that some things are happening and we see really the tangible results.
Great, Cord. Now, a bit more about what you're doing at Uhde, and I want to get your viewpoints about ammonia, and we'll also go into methanol. But yeah, maybe why ammonia is going to be so important going forward and what you're doing in that space.
Many things. Ammonia is, I think, the energy carrier. We fight climate, and for that we need hydrogen. Green hydrogen, it won't work without hydrogen. Yeah? And hydrogen is important, utmost important, but we have an imbalance of demand and supply. Hydrogen is there produced where it's cheapest. And this is in regions like here in the Middle East, Australia, maybe South America. But this is not where it's used. The use centers are somewhere else, Asia and Europe. So we have to ship or you have to transport hydrogen from A to B. And for that reason, ammonia is the carrier. And we as Uhde, we do ammonia plants for 100 years. So we do licensing for plants. We do EPC construction. We have done more than 100 plants overall in the meantime. So we are one of the leading suppliers in that area. And therefore, ammonia is utmost important. And we as Uhde can provide this technology to the world.
That's really great to hear. And do you see the ammonia economy growing then, or demand increasing from industries and governments to sort of use it?
Yes, very much so. So you can pick any number. Yeah, there's huge targets out there. Pick a number. Right now, the market is around 200 million tons per year, ammonia. And it's 80% is used for fertilizer, so produce food. And pick a number from various consultants, it will at least quadruple the market, because we need so much hydrogen that ammonia is also going to quadruple in the future. So there's a huge demand, huge increase, wonderful opportunities, but also, of course, a nice challenge to ramp up now this economy. But yes, the number will be growing from 200 million tons per year to a minimum 500 million tons per year, but I think assume almost 1,000 million tons per year.
That's really interesting to hear. And as you said, COP28 brings governments, lobbyists, industry as well, private sector. How can they really increase the focus on hydrogen, but also the ammonia element as well, that needs to be more looked at?
I think we have a lot of attention already. And I think industry, governments, R&D, they all, I think, work together. And hydrogen is a given. And also ammonia as a carrier is also, I think, in the meantime, a given. We will have various routes of transport, but ammonia is right now the choice to go for. I think what we have to do, we have to get all the stakeholders together. This is why COP is so important here, to get projects off the ground. What we see right now is a huge demand. There's a big potential, but we have not a lot of actual projects, a lot of intentions, a lot of MOUs signed, but really getting projects off the ground is important. And for that, you need the demand side and the supply side get together. Yeah, so the investors in ammonia and the potential off-takers who need the ammonia and the hydrogen, they have to work together. And then back to COP here, we have everybody here. Yeah, so they can all be here, they can sign contracts, they can shake hands, and then we can get going.
Absolutely. And, I think the key here is you feel that ammonia is going to be a vital part of helping to get to net zero by a lot of people's targets, 2050, 2060. That's going to be vital then.
It will be very vital. Again, we are here to fight climate change. We have our targets. For that, we need the transition, the green transition, and we need hydrogen, and ammonia will be the carrier to help people and help industry, help mankind to get to our targets. So it's very important that we all work together.
Yeah.
We, as Uhde, we want to do our fair portion. We will help in this market. We have been there for 100 years. We have a huge competence in building and constructing and designing ammonia plants to let's say, help transport hydrogen from A to B, which is quite a nice part. And as thyssenkrupp, we also have put up, let's say, a new segment, which is called Decarbon Technologies. So we really help our partners, our customers, and the industry to work on this huge challenge and huge opportunity.
Absolutely. And I want to change track a little bit and sort of get your views and around methanol and its importance, but also linked to transport.
Yeah, methanol is another big base chemical. I think the biggest traded chemical, and we also work in methanol. We work in green methanol, which is based on green biomass and on green feedstock. And methanol is another big source which will help in the future to green and to let's say reduce the emissions of petrochemical areas. So as such, ammonia and methanol are the two basic chemicals for the future, the two green molecules that we need to decarbonize our industry landscape.
Yes, and I assume you see sort of growth areas then in transport or in renewable energies then.
Yes, this is, as I said, we have renewable energies which are in Australia, in the Middle East. They then produce the hydrogen, and then we produce the hydrogen, the produced one, we transform into ammonia, and this is then shipped to other locations on the world. And by the way, we can also do cracking of ammonia, so we can produce ammonia out of hydrogen, and we can then again produce hydrogen out of ammonia. So crack it back into hydrogen, which can be then used to fuel gas turbines, which can be used to decarbonize our vehicles and to decarbonize our industry landscape.
That's really interesting, Gordon. Before we go, one thing about these COPs is bringing, as we said, everyone together, but also how can you overcome hurdles and bring actual action. What do you see some of the main hurdles facing accelerating the energy transition?
I think two hurdles from my perspective. First of all, there's no hurdle in financing, there's no hurdle in technology. There are two hurdles. One, as I said, bring, let's say, all the people together, and the demand side, the supply side, and get it together and work hand in hand to get projects off the ground. And the second would be also from my side, a regulatory framework, to get going in terms of have a level playing field, have regulations in place to transport hydrogen from A to B, and make sure that investors who will invest in the plants have, let's say, a level playing field, but also certainty around their investments. Otherwise, nobody will invest, and then we don't fight climate change.
Absolutely, Cord. Well, I really appreciate you taking your time out of this busy second day of COP to come over to the Green Zone. And I wish you all the best for the rest of your time here at COP28.
Julian, many thanks. It was a pleasure.
Thanks everyone for watching, and I look forward to bringing you more exclusive interviews from COP28 in the coming days.